Morning all. I, Purnima, on behalf of MG Motor India, welcome dignitaries from educational institutes available here, our MG India leadership team, our training partner SkillLink, media partners, and students to this event of MG Nurture. Special thanks to those dignitaries and students who have joined us virtually. MG Nurture is an extension of MG Motor India's community-centric initiatives where we have been collaborated with engineering colleges and technical institutes across India for providing comprehensive theoretical knowledge and practical knowledge. With this, we foster equitable development of students. Before we start the event, I would take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to the colleges whom we consider as our knowledge partners for sharing their valuable inputs while building up this program and also getting onboarded for this learning journey curated specially for student community. As it is rightly said, Vidyadhanam Sarvadhanam Pradhanam, which means education is the supreme wealth. With this aim, MG Nurture program has been designed to bridge industry-academia gap by fostering skill development of students with a market-focused skill set and make the student community future-ready by deeper collaboration with eminent institutes. We have partnered with SkillLink Institute, which offers industry-relevant curated courses for student community. As we kickstart our strong association towards education and skill development, we would start the program with auspicious prayer as a tribute to Ma Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. We invite students to come on the stage for prayer.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रान्विता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवै सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निशेषजाड्यापहा शुक्लां ब्रह्मविचारसार परमा माध्यां जगद्वापिनी वीणा पुस्तकधारिणीम् अभयदाम् जाड्यान्धकारापहा हस्ते स्फटिकमालिका विदधती पद्मासने संस्थिता वन्दे तां परमेश्वरीं भगवती बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम्.
Thank you, students. This prayer has indeed made the aura more positive. With this, we move ahead. MG India has 4 important pillars: diversity, innovation, communities, and experiences. Focusing on these brand pillars, MG Nurture has been designed to create avenues for students in line with the innovative practices going around the world. Let us have a look at the journey of MG Nurture till date in the form of a video. Moving forward, I would like to invite Mr. Rajiv Chaba, President and MG Motor India, Ms. Tejal Amin, Chairperson for Navratna Education University, Mr. Biju Balendran, COO, MG Motor India, and Mr. Yashwinder Patel, Senior Director HR, MG Motor India, to come on the stage and unveil the logo. Thank you all. I would request Mr. Rajiv Chaba to stay back. Today's youth has a lot of potential and can emerge as significant contributors for India's automobile industry. I would now request Mr. Rajiv Chaba, President and MD, MG Motor India, to share his vision on MG Nurture.
Thank you, Purnima. Good morning. Again, I welcome you all to Navratna University on behalf of Tejal ma'am and their administration. Like you could take out time, and especially various dignitaries from the institutes who are our partners and collaborators in this journey. Purnima has given a pretty good background to the idea of this program. And if I can give more context to it, please let me indulge, because this subject is very close to my heart. And all of us who are part of this program from MG Motor India, we don't take this as part of our job. It's our passion, because we can't say their day job is different. Their day job is to manufacture cars and sell cars, right? But this part we feel very passionately about. And that starts from the philosophy under which our MG Foundation got laid in 2016-17. And so when we were launching our brand and future cars in this country, we said we will have 4 pillars of our foundation. Because we were very clear that how are we going to make difference in this very competitive automotive world? So we said 4 pillars. And first was technology and innovation. And we said all our products are going to stand out in their respective segments. And as you can imagine, Hector, we said first internet connected car in India. Second was EV, that point of time, where car sales of EV was almost zero in private sector. There was only one car selling in corporates, but private car was almost zero. And that point of time, we decided to launch ZS EV. The third was Gloucester, which we said ADAS, or the autonomous level 1 technology, and fourth was Aster, autonomous level 2 technology. Fifth car we are going to launch in the next few months, a very affordable EV, price range of 10 to 15 lakhs. So we said basically, one pillar is going to be technology and innovation. Second, we said unique customer service. And we said we want to be number 1. And I can go into lots of details there, but I don't want to bore you today. But the result of that was, because that's what matters, that JD Power, which is the Bible of customer satisfaction globally, when they have done the surveys in India on sales and service satisfaction from consumer, MG Motor India came first last year in both, and this year also first in both, right? So that tells you, thanks a lot, thanks. That tells you that it's not just words, we walk the talk. The third was gender diversity. And especially Tejal ma'am would remember, we talked about it. In fact, 2 years before the launch of Hector, I used to talk to her saying that how can we get more female employees in Baroda, you know? And we took a target of 30%. And by the way, 30% was not for staff. It was for staff as well as the associates or the blue-collar workers. You know, so I'm happy to say our team not only believed in that, but now we are 37%, you know, and so that's a great job done. And our target is to make it 50, which is kind of very difficult. But we say why? Nature is 50% females and 50% males. So we should be close to nature. So we are targeting end of this year, where Yash and Mausam say it's very, they are by the way our head of HR. They say it's very tough, but we would be close to 50 hopefully by the end of this year. So that's what our target is. And the fourth was community service. So mind you, I am talking about 2016 when we were 2.5 years before the launch of our first car. We said community service, and also we were not profitable. Unfortunately, automotive is a very high capital intensive business in which you break even in 4 to 5 years if you are very good. Typically, companies take 7 to 8 years. When Maruti was launched, they took more than 10 years to break even. You know, so typically average is 7 to 8 years you break even and start making profit. For us, so why I'm saying that is because then the CSR kicks in. When you make profit, as per government mandate, 2% of the profit has to go into CSR. And that's why no disrespect to big corporate groups, but because they have to spend money in CSR, they allocate the funds. But for us, community service was coming from Dil Se as the pillar of our MG brand. And we are still a loss-making, unfortunately, company. And this year, hopefully, we should break even and start making profit. But we said we'll dedicate some of our marketing funds to community service. And that's why in 2017, September, when we got this plant, we purchased this plant from GM, within 2 months, we announced our partnership with Baroda Marathon, that MG will participate. And that point of time, my comment and part of my speech was that we want to be in the hearts of Vadodara citizens. We want to get connected and we want to have a chemistry alignment, you know, before even we show our presence in this market. So I'm happy that still we are continuing and 90% of our employees participate in Vadodara Marathon. You know, so that's really good. So thanks. So, you know, so we have done lots of initiatives, and again, I'll not bore you. One of the things of community is MG Seva and MG Nurture. What is MG Seva? In MG Seva, what we do is that we have a team of volunteers. Some of the members here are part of the team. We say that take some cause or choose the cause of your you know, liking and go deep into that cause. So, and again, as the luck would have been in India, globally also, you know, you have all kinds of good causes. But we say pick up one cause where you can go deep into that cause and make some impact, which is meaningful. So typically, because we place a lot of importance on gender diversity, so typically women cause we pick up primarily in MG Seva, and we do lots of things, not only in Gujarat, but also across the country wherever we get the opportunity. MG Nurture, then, we started thinking about it a few years back. We didn't know we'll end up with MG Nurture, but because as part of our philosophy, we were working with a lot of colleges. It started with IIT Delhi, IIT Sonipat, with Navrachna University also, in Munjal. We did something, RV Engineering College. And then we started seeing that there is a huge scope of collaboration. Also, actually, when the pandemic happened, COVID happened, we realized that a lot of students didn't know what to do at home. So we started a program in 2020 with almost 200 students that can we do 3-month kind of a program under MG Nurture that point of time and make them corporate ready. Then 2021, we took almost 200 students to have work, to start working or get some experience at our dealerships. Last year when Ukraine war started, I spoke again to Tejal ma'am and said that though we have nothing to do with medical science or medical field, but we said the doctors, it seems a lot of doctors are coming, doctor students are coming back from Ukraine, and a lot of students belong to Gujarat. So can we give them some kind of internship in medical hospitals in Gujarat? And again, we did that. So also, you know, when we are in the car area, as you know, so we have lots of cars which we use for validation, for homologation, testing, and after that, actually, you scrap those cars. And then we realize, why are we scrapping those cars? They are, and by the way, some of the cars are really good condition, but you cannot sell the cars to the customers. Even as used cars, you don't want to sell it because it may have some safety issues. So to be on the safer side, you scrap the car. So we started, hey, listen, instead of that, can we give it to the students? Can we give it to the colleges? They will learn something from there. And again, I don't have any shame in saying that that if you can learn from some good technology and you can do reverse engineering and improve, why not? Because everybody has learned from somewhere. So, and I'm very proud of the fact that our cars are the best in their segment and probably one of the best in the country in many areas. We are really improving the level of technology in our country in general. As an example, connected car. Before Hector was launched, there was no car in the country called connected car. Now it has become price of entry. Any car above 15 lakhs has to be a connected car. That's what we did in 4 years. Like EVs, we launched EV, and now lots and lots of EVs are coming. But that's also the trend, so I won't say that we started it, but we were one of the first ones to do it. Likewise, now ADAS, which is Advanced Driver Assistance Safety System. So a lot of ADAS features, we started giving in our cars, and now that's becoming kind of standard. Mahindra, Tata, everyone is trying to give it now. But there's a huge gap between the student curriculum and this kind of technology. So we are saying when we give cars, let's say Hector or Gloucester or Aster or EV to the campuses, you can learn with your own hands there. And then you can probably improve and customize it to the Indian conditions. So that's the whole idea, that some technology still is very costly for India, but if our students apply their brain and faculty facilitates, maybe we can localize it, customize it for Indian conditions. And that's what probably this can facilitate. So we said, let's start doing it. So when we were doing it, we realized that there is a gap even in the EV course, because there is nothing called EV course. And I learned it when IIT Delhi invited me to be an advisor on their MTech EV curriculum. And then I realized even IIT Delhi kind of an institute, and again, no disrespect to them, I'm not bitching about them, I'm really supporting their initiative. At least they called people like us, who were launching EV, to help them in designing the curriculum for MTech, so that like the gap can be bridged. So that again gave us thoughts that we are going to hire lots of guys from Gujarat and also lots of institutes from outside Gujarat. So why don't we join hands with like-minded institutes who are willing to learn, and we are willing to help from our side and make a fully integrated program. So that's where this whole MG Nurture concept came, and we said, let's institutionalize this whole thought process. We have been doing something in bits and pieces, but the whole program means now as follows, which you can understand commonsensical, but the aspects of this program are in plain English, that we join hands. We also have joined hands with our learning partner, who's devising the program, and that program can be taught to the faculties. Faculties can then start teaching this program to the students. This can be elective program or mandatory program as we go forward, because again, nothing is cast in iron. We will all learn and this will evolve. So we start with the EV and connected car program. Also a soft skill program, especially for students who have to, some students who have to, who don't want to do a startup and they want to come to the corporate world. So there are some gaps between, on the soft skill side. So we said, again, thanks to our learning partner, we are saying we can impart that program. So right now, 22 institutes we have joined hands, and here we also feel that some of our directors, some of our employees who also love teaching and they have this knack of connecting with the students, they can keep coming to these institutes as guest faculty. We can give the assets like cars, assemblies, parts, for physical demonstration at universities. We can also take the students for internships in our company, and definitely we can take the students for ultimate jobs also in our company. And so not only MG Motor India, but we can also prepare students for our dealerships and also for the industry in general. And then we said, listen, because we need all kinds of levels. We have different kind of levels in any company. So not only engineering, but diploma and ITI. So that's why I'm happy to say out of 22 institutes whom we are signing MOU today with, they have diploma colleges, they have ITI colleges, and they have engineering colleges. We feel that this program will get expanded to maybe another 7-8 colleges, but I think 22 is a good number to start with. Our hands are full. And mind it, the people who are doing this program from MG Motor India, they have a day job to do. They are supposed to do different jobs. And apart from that, this we feel is way of our giving back to society and getting to the community. Again, I'll say one last thing I'm repeating, but as a last thing I'll say, this program is not cast in stone. So my request to institutes would be that we launch it the way it is, but then within few months we'll start seeing how we can improve, how we can tweak, what makes more relevant to students. Certain things we think maybe that's the right way of doing it, but may not be. And we can learn from universities, from the academics, that how it has to be changed. So on both the sides, I think we need to have a very flexible and open mind for improving, and let's see where does it go. We are a very small company relatively in India. We are only 1.5% market share. But I think thanks to our passionate team, we are trying to punch above our weight, at least in certain areas where we can do. With that, I'll say, I know Mausam will say it in any way, but I thought I feel really fortunate that we have institutes like Navrachna who become our partner, especially the leader, Tejal, ma'am, who actually has been supporting us, helping us, and guiding us right from the day one. Whenever I have any problem, this is a great example of academics and industry. If I get any problem, even related to my company, I go to her for support and guidance. So that's a great connection. I wish we can do it with the rest of the institutes also. So thank you very much once again for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Raji, for sharing insights on role of industries in creating avenues for skill development. Skill development is an essential means to bridge the unemployability gap and can contribute to the economic growth. With this, I invite on stage Ms. Tejal Amin, Chairperson for Navrachna Education Society, to share her thoughts on importance of skill development.
Still a very good morning to all of you. On behalf of Navrachna University, it gives me and MG Motor, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the Navrachna University campus. We have eminent academicians, business heads from various universities, colleges, corporates, and all you dear students. How many students? You want to raise your hands? Thank you. So let us talk about skill development. Before I share my views on skill development, let us look at the context of the growth and development of our country, of our economy currently. There is a 2015 report on the National Policy of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, which had estimated that only 4.5% of the total workforce of our nation had any exposure to formal skill training. Compare this to, at that time, 52% in the US, 80% in Japan, and 96% in South Korea. So we see the lack and therefore the critical importance of training in the area of skills. Let's come to current times. 2022, in July, the World Economic Forum, as per the World Economic Forum, out of the 1.3 crore young people that are added to our workforce every year, 1 out of 4 management professionals, 1 out of 5 engineers, and only 1 out of 10, which is 10% of graduates in our country are employable. Now we are a large country of 1.3 billion people. This whole demographic dividend, which is the working age population, which constitutes 67% of the total population, which makes our working age population probably the largest in the world. There are recent numbers which are coming that we have surpassed even China in terms of population. We have a young population, which is the huge demographic advantage we have. Now, for this advantage, or for this dividend to be converted into something that will benefit the nation, this population has to be gainfully employed. CII, in its recent report, Confederation of Indian Industry, has said that if this happens, if this working age population is gainfully and meaningfully employed, the $3 trillion economy that we are currently can go up to 7 or 9 trillion by 2030 and 40 trillion by 2047. Look at the enormity of, or the capacity or the opportunity of growth that the nation possesses in terms of its human resource capital. But is that happening? No. We have to look at and admit to ourselves that there is a huge gap. In fact, there is a kind of a paradoxical situation as far as labor is concerned, labor force is concerned in a country. On one hand, we have all these people who are available for jobs, for creation of wealth, for creation of jobs. And on the other hand, we have industry. There are many of us who are here in industry, or even in education, where we are not able to find suitable people. No, there is a shortage. In spite of having this huge supply of manpower, there is a real shortage of people who are suitable for various jobs. Herein comes the issue of skilling. While we have set up universities, we have programs for education, etc., etc., the skilling aspect is something that we have not been able to achieve to the extent we should have. Of course, now there is a National Skill Development Corporation. The NEP 2020 is talking very, very actively about skilling. There are there's a whole government organization and infrastructure that has been set up right from the central level, permeating to the district levels, and so on and so forth. One reason why skilling has not really happened in our country is because of the lack of, and I will say here, Rajiv ji, you will agree with me, and all you of us who also represent corporate India, is that we have not yet put in the kind of effort and resources in skilling people who are with us and people who will, young people, the youth, who will be entering into our workforces. And I'm very happy and proud that MG Motor today, in spite of, as Rajiv ji says, in spite of having a very small footprint, has taken up this huge task of partnering with educational institutions, higher educational institutions, to provide good programs for skilling. So big round of applause for MG Motor under the MG Nurture. Why is skilling important? The theoretical knowledge that you get through your academic learning or the academic processes is of a certain kind. It is the skills that make you life learners. It is the skills, and these I'm talking about all kinds of skills, technical skills, soft skills, and so on and so forth. People skills, social skills. emotional skills. And it is these skills which add value to each one of us. Students who are here, what you have studied in your degree programs, diploma programs, ITIs, is not adequate to make you productive in your jobs when you take up employment. Skills are also necessary for entrepreneurship. Our country needs entrepreneurs. We need job creators, job givers. We need to create that kind of wealth. And it is skills which keep you relevant, make you relevant. Technology is changing so fast. We are now looking at GPT, which is now going to make artificial intelligence is going to make the work of academicians very, very challenging. We have to move ahead with times. It is skills which help you adapt to new technologies, use new technologies. Production in both in the manufacturing and service sectors, our ways of doing things have changed tremendously. Unless we are skilled, we will not be able to use the new technologies, emerging technologies, technologies which we are not aware of today. To have the skill to learn, relearn, adapt, for this skill development is necessary. Without skills, the country cannot grow. And if the nation doesn't grow, all of us cannot benefit. The other thing is sustainability. I'm so happy that we have MG Motor here right in our backyard. For all of us who are sitting here who are from in and around Vadodara, we have a company like MG Motor which is looking at sustainability, inclusivity, taking the community along, growth of the community as they grow. Now these are, I think, they go beyond corporate goals. I mean, there are companies, we have had Indian companies, and now MG is setting the way for all of us locally to go beyond profits, to look at what contribution we can make to the community that we are working in. And this is one of the initiatives. This EV program, certificate program as it is, will help students, engineering students and even others who want to understand what EV technology is about, to learn, to acquaint themselves, to go further in this area, to become proficient at some point, to think up innovations. Like Rajiv ji said, a lot of innovation can happen from young minds, fresh minds, which will lead to, better products, not only for MG, but even for other companies. So this innovative approach, the spirit of innovation through understanding new technologies, which is facilitated by such courses, is something that is the need of the day. And I'm so happy that this whole initiative of MG Nurture is being launched at Navrachna University. Artificial intelligence, computers and information technology is completely revolutionizing the way we work, the way we live. And as Nadella said just yesterday in his talk with the World Economic Forum chair, he said that, we have been talking about the industrial age and now the age of the knowledge. He has said that we are now coming into the golden age of artificial intelligence, and this is going to completely transform the way we live and work. So let us today, with MG Motor, all of us who are partnering, and I'm sure that there will be many more partners who will come up, go forward in taking the energy that we see in the world today towards a better and more sustainable world, and take our rightful place in contributing not only in making our lives better, but contributing to the wealth of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Tejal ma'am. As rightly said, skill development plays a major role in career advancement, employment, and entrepreneurship opportunities. Innovation provides new ways of talent development which can help us face barriers towards our future development. I now invite Dr. Anirban Chakraborty, Dean, Brij Bunjal School of Engineering and Technology, and Dean, Research of University, who will talk on innovation in the matters of skill development. Over to you, sir.
Namaste. I prefer saying namaste for two reasons. One is because of the deep significance of the word namaste. Namaste means I bow down to you and we are connected as one. The second is I don't have to look at my watch to say whether it's morning or afternoon. No disrespects. It's always easier for me because any time of the day I can always say namaste without having to look at my watch. So I'm very glad to be in Gujarat actually. I've flown from Delhi last night and we were shivering with cold, and when we landed up with all the jackets we were sweating. So and we love the warm hospitality of Navrachana University in partnership with MG Motors. So I want to address this 5 minutes to the students, and I want to start with the quote of Albert Einstein, that we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. So problem is that we create problems and we don't know how to solve them, and we need new ways of thinking, and that's what innovation, upskilling and all things depend, So our future is you and the students. We may have created lots of problems, and we have actually created problems much deeper than we thought. And sustainability, climate change, biodiversity loss are some of these big problems we have to address, and that is where we need you. So in this race of upskilling, reskilling, often we forget about the deeper or larger problems, and sustainability is one of them. And I'm very glad that MG Motors, for example, is thinking about electrical mobility or electrical vehicles, because that's one way of reducing the dependence on fossil fuels and using renewable or cleaner energy for mobility. So I was trained as a scientist, I was a physicist, and I often used to sometimes think about this industry-academia collaboration. So when I went to France, I was a faculty there. That's when I started working in collaboration with BNP Paribas. I was working in the field of mathematical finance. And that's when we realized that there is a gap in what we teach in the university and what is required in the industry. And it's there even in the advanced countries. It's not only in India, but even there. And when I returned to Jawaharlal Nehru University in 2014, so I'm still a professor at JNU. I am on leave and I've joined BML Munjal University only in 2021. I went through a lot of, through rethinking, in a change of my own philosophy of work as well. And when I went to BML Munjal University, I actually have opened a startup with one of my colleagues from mechanical engineering on electrical mobility, where we use second life batteries. Or we are trying to extract the lithium ion from the scrap batteries and again use that. So one of our student startup is doing very well in that. I often used to joke, my father used to have Hawaii chappals and the straps would break. He would put a safety pin and use it, And I used to think, why are you doing this? He used to think, no, I can still use it. Now you'll see that all our father's generation, and I've seen that. Another example, my uncle, his zip broke. He used a gems clip, put it there and used it. And he didn't have a hesitation. Now that's innovation. Bad examples perhaps, but they wanted to use, reuse. They didn't discard thing at the thing. That is very important also. So when I came back from France, I used to feel, sometimes, but then I realized that they're thinking beyond themselves. They're thinking about the planet more than themselves, right? We don't need to discard any time, our mobile, maybe it's things, then I throw it. They don't, they keep on using it. And I see that, in their philosophy. I wouldn't appreciate when I came back, and then I slowly started appreciating. And that's what I'm telling to the younger generation, the Gen Z, right? That's what they are called, that you have to think about the planet. And that's why I want to end with one of the quotes, which I really love. That was given by James Gustav Speth, a US environmental lawyer, in 2013 when he was speaking to the BBC radio. And with that inspiration, we've actually opened a center in collaboration with OP Jindal University. So the center is called Center for Complexity Economics, Applied Spirituality and Public Policy. Okay, and why the spirituality is because of this quote. I used to think the top global environmental problems were biodiversity loss, ecosystem collapse, and climate change. I thought that with 30 years of good science, we could address these problems. But I was wrong. The top environmental problems are selfishness, greed, and apathy. And to deal with these, we need a spiritual and cultural transformation. And we scientists don't know how to do that. Okay? So I am really glad that MG Motors, with their schemes, I think MG Seva, you said, and MG Nurture, is thinking along these lines and trying to partner with educational institutions which really shape and reshape the minds of thousands of people and citizens. And I hope that this partnership will keep these things in mind and become a more fruitful collaboration. So I again, thank you for sparing your time and coming here. And of course, we are invited guests, and we would like to have a stronger and deeper collaboration along these lines. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Dr. Arunpan. You have really inspired the student community, and thank you for sharing your experiences of innovation. It is said that skill development is based on 3 pillars: innovation, research, and employability. With this, I now invite Mr. Santosh Nair, Managing Director, Global Industry Collaborations and Academic Strategies, to share his thoughts on the same.
So, a very good morning to all the industry dignitaries, academic dignitaries, and all my dear friends. First of all, on behalf of Parul University, I would like to thank the entire leadership and the subsequent teams of MG Motors and Navratna University for making us a part of this critical event. Which is really very essential and important for the overall growth and development of both academia and industry. Now, before I start speaking on skilling, I would like to just throw some light, because as students are there, and immediately what thing comes into my mind is the counseling part, right? So as we are into the education system, and we know that the education system is one of the building blocks of any developing or developed nation, and emphasis on education is one of the most critical things that we need to take care of, because it is going to have a lot of contribution towards the overall nation building as well. Now, when we talk about education system, we need to first of all understand, as Rajiv ji mentioned, that MG Motors is banking on 4 major pillars, right? And the same is the scenario with education as well. So the main 3 pillars for education is innovation, research, and employability. Now, when we talk about innovation, everybody wants innovation, right? Because it's a buzzword in the market. But then very few of them know why innovation is required. right? When we talk about education system, it is very important for the education or the entire academia to focus on innovation, because innovation eventually leads to entrepreneurship, right? And as Tejal ma'am also mentioned, that entrepreneurship is very, very important because it is going to lead to job creation, right? So ultimately everything ends up with job and employability, right? But then if you go for entrepreneurship, definitely there is an addition to the, or substantial value addition to the overall economy, but at the same time you are also adding value to the overall talent force which is going to come or which is going to pass out every year, because they are going to add up to the job creation. The second part, and definitely innovation, now innovation, it will require a very highly conducive environment, at the same time mindset as well, right? Which not all the institutes or the academic setups are able to provide. So it is very important for the education system to focus on innovation. The second part is the research. Now research will definitely, apart from the conducive environment and the mindset, it will also require a lot of infrastructure, funding, right? And quality of faculties as well, right? Which is going to add up to the research part. Now research part is also important because eventually these students who are going to pass out, they are going to go for further studies and they are going to again roll back into the academics itself. So all the students sitting out here, because most of the students who are passing out every year, they feel that employability is one of the most important element. Definitely it is, but it is not only about employability, right? It is also about innovation, which is going to lead to entrepreneurship, and it is also about research, which is going to help you to come back into the academics and then enhance and improve the overall academic curriculum so as to cater to the need of the industry. The third point that we talk about in education system is employability. Now employability is very, very important because almost 60 to 70% people or the students who are going to come out of their colleges, they are going to depend on employability, right? Because they will require jobs. And that is where the skilling plays a very, very vital role. Now when we talk about skilling, maybe a couple of decades ago, when education was not available to everyone, right? If you see that about 20 or 30, 40 years before, if you see the number of engineers that were there in India, that were very, very limited. So to get a job for those engineers was a easier task as compared to what it is right now. There are a lot of jobs in the market, but then at the same time, there is disguised unemployment. And that is where skilling plays a very, very vital role. All the students who are sitting out here, they are definitely going to get a job after they are going to pass out, right? But whether that job is going to be relevant to your academic background or not, to your skill set or not, that is going to be very, very important. Because eventually, if you don't get a desired job, you are not going to be motivated, and slowly and gradually you might get frustrated, and then you end up doing something or the other which you might not like, right? And if you don't have interest in the things that you do, you are not going to excel in that area as well. So for that particular reason, skilling is going to be very, very important, particularly in the current scenario where we are talking about Industry 4.0. There are both opportunities and threats when we talk about Industry 4.0. The threats are definitely we are getting into an era where everything is new, right? There is no background, there is no backup, because whatever is coming up in the market, it's something very, very new and has not been practiced in last decade or maybe previous to that, right? So how do the students and how do the academia ensure that they train and groom their students for the challenges that are going to come in the Industry 4.0? But at the same time, there is also a plethora of opportunities when we talk about Industry 4.0, because the level of competition which was there previously, now the competition is not to that extent. In the sense that definitely jobs are there, but then the job that you desire for, right, or the companies, the expectation of the companies, the skill sets with the companies desire, it is not available in the market. So if the students, they emphasize and focus more on the skill sets which are required by the industry, I am very sure they are going to surpass the competition in miles and miles ahead, right? Because not all of the students who are currently pursuing their degrees or post-graduation, they are skilled to that particular level or maybe to the requirement of the industry. So this kind of initiatives, which I'm very fortunate, and we really appreciate the initiative that the MG Motors leadership team has come up with. It is the most commendable part about this is not the, I would say, the support that they are giving or maybe the investment that they are making in terms of providing it to the academic setup. But the most commendable part is the intent that the MG Motors has, right? Because once you have the intent and you have a stronger intent, then definitely you are going to achieve what you desire for, right? So here the intent is very clear that MG Motors is actually wanting to contribute to the overall skill building of the talent force, which is going to pass out in the times to come, and also for the overall future of the industry as well. Now, when we talk about skilling, most of the students, when I see, they start making their resume in the final year, right? Because as the students are here, I would like to just throw some light on that as well. The important part is the resume building has to be started from the first year itself. It is very important for the student to understand that what are the skill sets they need to add by the time they pass out in their final year. And if you get to know what are the skill sets which are there in demand in the industry, the student also will be able to create a roadmap for themselves right from the first semester itself. Most of the time what happens is the students start interacting with the industry, or maybe in the pre-final year or final year when they come in, when they are supposed to do their projects or internship, right? But then by that time it becomes very, very late, right? And they realize that the skill sets that they require to successfully complete or accomplish that particular project, they haven't developed those skill sets in their previous years, that is first and second year, or maybe the third year as well, right? So that is where the skilling part is going to be very, very important. So my advice to the students is that from the first year itself, you start knowing what the industry or what the technology is trending in the industry. And that is the reason that it is very important under the programs like this, MG Nurture, it is very important that the students take maximum benefit of the contribution that the MG Motors is doing to the academic setup, right? And once you start working on those areas, eventually I'm very sure that by the time you come in your third year and fourth year, you will at least develop some background wherein you can take up a project or internship of your own choice, and maybe you can get the help from the industry as well, right? So at the end, I would like to thank once again to the entire team of MG Motors and Navrachna University for providing us with this opportunity. And I'm very sure this is going to be, will go a very long way in terms of skill building and providing overall employment to the students of future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Santosh, for sharing your insights on the pathway to success through skill development. Thankfulness is the beginning of gratitude, and gratitude marks the beginning of something good. I would now invite Ms. Mausam Joshi to come on the stage and express her vote of thanks.
Thank you, Purnima. Good afternoon, everyone. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. First and foremost, I would like to thank all the distinguished dignitaries from the college present here and also available virtually for their extensive interest and support towards this MG Nurture program. We are grateful to SkillLink for associating with us, for being our training partner in this journey. My heartfelt thanks on behalf of the entire MG leadership team to Ms. Tejal Amin ma'am and the leadership of Navrachna, the entire Navrachna team university, for their extended support in making this program a success in their premises. I thank to media members for their interest in covering this event and all the good hearts who worked behind this success. I would like to thank Mr. Rajiv Chaba, MG leadership team, for nurturing this vision of MG Nurture for the students community. Last but not least, I owe special thanks to all the members who have contributed in making this event a resounding success. And a big shout out to the students present over here and available virtually for making this event a huge success. So thank you all once again for your attention, and I would now request the MG leadership team and all the college dignitaries to come forward for a group photo on the stage.